earlier today, there was a countdown that Taylor put on her website. If it's a vinyl variant,
yeah, I can
I'm gonna be so sad. Here we go. Vinyl variant.
Okay.
Oh, god damn, what the fuck? This last week in the Taylor Swift fandom has been absolutely insane. And it all started on August 12th when a random countdown appeared on Taylor Swift's website and nobody knew what it was for.
Hero Nation just posted a link to the store.
Okay.
Now people are like, are we clowning for merch? But I think it's too much for merch because they link to the store. I think they're linking to the store and the countdown's going to come off vinyl. It's going to be a whole new era section. Pre-order vinyl, and then she'll post on Instagram at the exact same time.
I think that's a good show. In classic Taylor Swift culture, people were absolutely losing their minds on the internet, and Aaron and I were absolutely no different than those people.
It's definitely not a merch drop.
No.
Could be documentary.
I'd be hyped if it was documentary, to be honest. This is TS12, right? Then the one after this is TS13. That album is going to be fucking nuts. Excuse my language. Now, this is one of those moments that like bonds us as Taylor Swift fans. This is cool. What is going to happen? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
We got,
Briefcase.
yep,
Mint green with TS
Yep.
on it.
yep.
That's it.
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
TS12!
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
I said that.
This was way more than what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe a little announcement or a fun little merch drop or something, but an album announcement? I was over the moon, okay? I was so excited, so was Aaron. And the internet seemed just as excited. I mean, everywhere you looked was Taylor Swift's album promo. The crazy thing about all of this is we didn't even have an album cover yet. Like, all of this craziness was because of an album title. See, we weren't gonna unlock the album cover until 24 hours later when Taylor Swift was meant to appear on her boyfriend's podcast. And oh my god, the 24 hours between that clip that you saw and the actual podcast coming out were like the longest 24 hours ever for Swifties all over the world. And it seemed like every 10 minutes there was a new theory as to what was going on and people saying they figured it out. And spoiler alert, no one figured it out. And when it was finally time for the podcast, we got our announcement that we were so anxiously anticipating.
We just got the new album cover. Holy shit.
Oh my.
That looks insane. The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter. Oh shit.
And it is track 12.
Father figure. Track 5.
Wait, let's
Eldest daughter.
Let's
Okay,
go in
Fate of
order.
Ophelia. Track 1. Elizabeth Taylor. Track 2. Opalite. Father figure. Eldest daughter. Ruin the Friendship. Actually Romantic, Wish List, Wood, Cancelled, Honey, and The Life of a Showgirl.
Oh
God.
my god, look at the photos.
As far as the album rollout, I feel like I have very strong opinions when it comes to Taylor Swift's album rollouts. You know, in the past, I think she's been amazing and she's really hit her mark. Like, I think the 1989 era, you know, the OG one, was amazing and it had this image to it. You know, it had this supermodel, famous vibe to it that I think really complemented the music. And then you have Red OG era. The imagery of that is so different to 1989, but you have that red lipstick, you have the t-shirt, you have the flat 22 hat. It's iconic, and it suits the album so well. And then you have an album like Red Taylor's version, which has a whole different aesthetic almost. You know, it's very fall, it's very all too well short film. Even Folklore Evermore, I think they really nailed album rollout and having the imagery match the album, and you know, it felt like a very cohesive project. But then we got Midnight's. You know, all the images that came out early on in the Midnight's era was very much leading to a 70s sounding album, and I was stoked. So was everyone around me. I feel like so many Swifties were expecting this one type of album. And then when Midnight's dropped, it was fantastic, and we got a whole different type of album. But after that newlywed honeymoon phase of the album wore off, I feel like I started thinking about that imagery used for Midnight's rollout. And I was like, why 70s? Like, what does that have to do with the album at all? And with this album, it seems like there's a very cohesive image that Taylor Swift wants to put out to the world. You know, there's a very clear story that she's telling just based on the album rollout already. The only thing that has kind of made me a bit like, through this album rollout so far has been the countdown for the new vinyl variant. I think having that countdown really sold me a dream that something really huge was coming. I think a lot of people got excited, and a lot of people were filming their reactions, and they were excited for what this countdown was going to be, and for it to just be a vinyl variant was a major letdown. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn there, but for me, that's how I felt. Something that I really liked about this album rollout was the fact that Taylor chose to go on New Heights podcast. Seeing Taylor's excitement when it comes to this album is infectious.
Melodies that were so infectious
Check.
that you're almost angry at it. And lyrics that are just as vivid, but crisp and focused and completely intentional.
Check.
Seeing her say that she wanted to be as proud of this album as she was of the entire Eras tour. You know, the biggest tour in the history of music. That's really saying something. And for her to say that she's really hyping up this album, but she knows that it's going to live up to our expectations is crazy. The producer choice is a statement. You know, she's willing to try something new. She's been using Jack and Aaron for the last few years, and they are incredible. But for her to want to challenge herself sonically and to create something that she's really, really proud of with some of the biggest producers in the history of music, that's really saying something. And that, I think, goes into the question, do I think the album will be any good? I think that's an easy answer. You grab the most successful songwriter in the history of music, and then you grab the most successful producer in the history of music, and you put them together. I don't really think you're gonna miss, you know? I feel like that's a good recipe for success. The Eras Tour was one of the best concerts that I've ever been to in my life, but it was also one of the loudest. See, over the last few years, I've been going to a lot of concerts, and what I've started to notice is it's had a negative impact on my ears. So I started looking for a solution, and that's when I found loop earplugs. So let me tell you why I love loop earplugs. My biggest issue in the past with earplugs has always been how uncomfortable they are in my ear and how much they muffle the sound, and I think loop earplugs does a great job at taking away both of these issues. It's in there. Like, effortlessly in there. The loop switch is like 3 products in one. It has 3 different modes of hearing. The first mode is quiet. Over the last few weeks, I've been using the quiet mode to help me read better, and it has been a lifesaver. The second mode is engaged, for when you want to be engaged in a conversation with your friend, but you're out at like a busy restaurant, and you just want to switch your earplugs to that perfect decibel amount, so that you're not harming your ears, but you can still yap away with your friend. And the third mode is experience. The experience mode is amazing for concerts because it still allows you to be able to hear the music clearly while protecting your ears using the acoustic filter inside the earplugs. I feel like it's important to know I reached out to Loop for a sponsorship because of how much I love their products. If you want to buy your own Loop earplugs or you just want to check out their products, visit the link in the top of the description down below. Use code LoopX-AlexB for 20% off your purchase. Thank you, Loop, for sponsoring this video, and back to TS12, baby. Now, the album cover was a very heavily debated topic on Stan Twitter, okay? This was anarchy, because a lot of people don't like Taylor Swift's album covers, which, fair. I feel like I always have a love and hate relationship when I first see them. I think the thing with Taylor is she's such a big artist and her music is so ingrained in me as a fan that no matter what the album cover is, whether I like it or whether I don't, it's going to be synonymous with that album. No, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the Lover album cover, but when I think of Lover, I think of that. I feel like Debut's pretty Debut, but it's been around for a long time, so I feel like it's had time to become Debut, you know? That is just what you think of when you think of Debut. Same with Rep, same with, you know, Evermore, Folklore. And I think with this album, I would have preferred this to be the cover, but seeing Taylor on the podcast explain why she chose the cover she chose, I mean, fair play. We also don't have the album yet, so I don't know whether the album cover is going to suit the music that's inside it until I hear the album. Now, it does look like a bit of a step back for Taylor as far as album covers, but I actually didn't really enjoy the Midnight's album cover or the TTPD one when they were first released, and really even still now. I would have loved the Midnight's cover if it didn't have the tracks on the side, but I feel like the tracks on the side, like, confuse me a little bit. You know, if it was just the big shot of her with the lighter, I would have loved it, and I think with this, I would have just preferred a slight change in the cover. Now, as far as what song I want to claim from this album, the song I think that's going to be the best, I feel like I need to pass it off to Aaron and me, because you gotta get two different opinions here. So here's Aaron and I's claiming of a song off TS12. Opalite. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Opalite, to be honest. This track I feel like has been arguably the most talked about track. People are grabbing Opalite. If you put it in a light, it turns orange. Crazy, like the amount of... Fate of Ophelia. Fate of Ophelia, I like stuff like that. Like, I love, like, stuff like Hamlet. I don't love Hamlet, but I love stuff like Hamlet. That's very much my vibe. So what track do you claim?
I claim Cancelled! Exclamation mark.
Ooh, okay, Tana Mojo. Alright, sounds good. I'm claiming Honey. Honey. We will see you all for the reaction of it. How exciting. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Oh. God damn. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
I am looking respectfully.